hate stems from something that happened to them in their past. So we gotta love everybody. My challenge to y'all is to refuse to be enemies.
Is that Brad Poles?
Do I hear Brad Poles?
Yes, sir. That's my name, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Underwater FlyZone podcast. It's your host, Foster Huggins, back from surgery. You already know I'm here today with my brother, Carson Huggins. How you doing, bro?
What up, everybody? I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling. And we also got the two villains in here today. The ones that came in my house and took over my podcast and decided to make the best episode without me. What the heck, y'all? What you doing? we got Macy and Caitlin back in the building.
Girls.
Oh my gosh. We got the girls back. I just want to start this episode out by saying I very much appreciate you guys coming on and just absolutely killing it. Y'all better go watch that episode if you haven't, because they killed it. So shout out to you guys. You already know. There we go. But yeah, these girls they killed it on episode 4 when I was out with the old nose surgery. If y'all didn't know, I've never been able to breathe out my nose in my whole life. And now I kind of can. I'm not all the way recovered yet. So you'll probably hear me breathing loud because I got all this nasty stuff up here. But hey, regardless, give me a week. I'll finally be able to, breathe. So that'll be lit. But today we got a good one for y'all. But yeah, how have you girls been though, for real? Like, it's been a couple days. How's life been?
Caitlin, actually, I remember you said that people were kind of hitting you up. I didn't know, like, just watching the reels and all that stuff.
Like giving you good feedback?
Yeah,
I got a lot of good feedback from the episode.
What's some of the stuff people were saying? Because that's stuff I'm actually very interested in. What were they saying about it?
Well, a lot of people just said that they really liked it, but a couple people texted me about God and, like, finding a relationship with him. And a lot of people are just saying that they're confused and don't know how to, like, start a relationship with God, I guess.
Yeah. And how'd you respond? Like, were
you
able
want me
to
go and...
You don't have to go all the way into it, but like, did it feel like a cool little like conversation you were able to have from the episode?
It started like a longer conversation of us just talking about like how good it is to have a relationship with God and how impactful it is on your life.
Yeah, that's awesome. I always knew, like, Macy obviously killed it as the host. She did a great job, but Caitlin, I always knew you had it in you. I like, you never done anything like that before. You came in here and you were kind of nervous, but in my head, I was nervous. I was like, I know if she just does what I know she can do, she's gonna absolutely destroy it, and you did, bro. So shout out to you. You killed it, and now you're back, baby. Now she's back. But all right, so let's get into the episode today. I want to start off by saying the last couple days when I was like sick and stuff, not sick, but recovering and stuff, we decided to go to my grandparents' house. And that was a good time. Always a good time going to your grandma's house, grandparents' house. And challenge today for everybody: call your grandma, call your grandpa, call them, hang out with them, because that stuff's important. And something I've been thinking about lately is like, this world is broken, death exists, we're all gonna die someday, and that's just the way it goes. And hopefully, if you get to live to see your older years, what naturally comes with that is you will have to see your grandparents pass away. Caitlin talked about her grandpa last episode, and then me and Carson are blessed to not have to experience that yet. Knock on wood, right? We don't gotta don't gotta experience it soon. But then Macy, when we were dating,
you were with me whenever my grandma.
Exactly. Like, the thing is like, that's something that you want to experience that in your life, because you don't want to die before your grandparents. You know what I'm saying? So like, when that happens, yeah, it's like, and I haven't, like I said, experienced it yet, but it's something that needs to happen in your life. But when it does happen, it sucks. And the last thing I want to do when I'm experiencing that day is be sitting there thinking, gosh, I wish I just had one more day. I wish I just had one more day to play cards, to, go on a hike, do whatever, just call them, even a call on the phone. I wish I could just do it one more time. I want to be sitting there thinking about, I'm so glad I did hang out with them when they were here. I'm so glad I did call them when they were here. So big challenge to y'all. I took some time and got to hang out with my grandparents. It was great. And if you're still blessed to have your grandparents, give them a call. Go hang out with them. Even your parents too. Like, the day's going to come. Like I said, like, hopefully you live to your older years And that something that comes with that is losing your parents. And that's something that really hurts to think about. But for some reason, I've been thinking about that the past couple days. And it just really makes you want to just put everything else, all this busy life stuff on pause and just take a afternoon and go paint pottery with your mom. Like something simple like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just that. I want everybody that supports the Underwater Fly Zone to, really think about that this week, and really, act on it as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
What y'all got to say about that?
Well, I was gonna say, so something that Foster helped me with the coping of my grandma is when you said that it's to be grateful that they lived a life that long and how much
True.
they got to experience life, and not to be sad that now they're gone, but to be happy that how much they've lived,
True.
because that really like switches your mindset on death in general, like especially
Yeah.
losing someone older than you. And it makes me think just how grateful I am to have the memories that I do have with them,
For sure.
So.
For sure. What do you guys got? You guys got anything on that, or do you want to just get into this?
I mean, with grandparents, I obviously do not. I mean, I like talking to grandparents a lot. I just don't do it as much as I should. But especially Grandpa Bob. One thing I noticed talking to him a lot, that's my grandpa on my mom's side. When you talk to him, you can just, the way he talks and everything he talks about, you can just tell that he's so experienced in life.
He's knowledgeable.
Yeah,
He
because-
has-
Grandparents have so much wisdom.
Exactly.
And if you really think about it deeply, like they've lived through the childhood, they've lived through teenage years, they lived through early adult, they lived through parenting, they've lived through everything you could even imagine living through. So talking to them, you can learn so much from just like you said, just a phone call. You can learn so much stuff about what you're going through right now and like how to keep living through it and advice just from a phone call. And I think that's important. And sometimes me and Grandpa talk on the phone for 5 minutes about how to fix his phone, or 35 minutes about how to fix my life and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This is random stuff, but it's always a good conversation. And same with my other grandparents. I just notice that a lot with Grandpa Bob when we talk, because I don't know, just I call him more probably. But
Yeah, for sure. And also we forget that, like, they're older. That means so much to them. They don't get to go out and live the busy lives we live. They're probably just sitting around watching TV or
waiting for the call.
Yeah, waiting for us to call. So hey, everybody, just one more time, call your grandparents, call your grandma, call your grandma. That's the challenge today. Call your grandma, bro. Yeah, what else should we get into? Oh yeah, I got a story. I almost died, y'all.
Oh
She
gosh,
knows this.
You scared me.
I didn't actually. Okay, maybe I
Okay.
might have almost died. I don't know. But here's the thing. So,
Dramatic much.
yeah. Okay, my dad made it seem like I almost died.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
freaked me
Let's put it
out.
that way. So what happened was, like I couldn't breathe out my nose. They went in and just cranked it up, made it so I can breathe out my nose. But like I ain't there yet. There's a bunch of disgusting stuff up in here, and there's something called a neti pot. Do y'all know what that is? Do y'all know what that is?
I
Yeah.
used it.
Got the little up the nose, up this nostril, down that nostril. You know what I'm saying? And when you got that nasty in your nose, bro, it is crazy. And like I've been just like doing it right, and it's crazy. And the amount of disgusting stuff that comes out of my nose is insane. But anyways, not about that. What happened was you have to put the little salt in the thing, and before you put the water in it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a packet. I don't know what it is.
It might not be salt, but you got to put the little packet in the
Powder,
thing and then
yeah.
shake it up.
Okay.
So we ran out of powder, and it was like midnight, bro. It was midnight. It was after the softball game. I freaking just played the softball game with the, probably shouldn't have, but whatever, I did. And my nose was just like all dirted up. So I did one, and it was cool. And then I looked, and I was like, dang it, I need to do another one because there's still stuff up there, but I'm out of the packet. And I was like, screw it, I'll just do it without the packet. No big deal, right? And I've been getting confident having to do this so much, so I'm just kind of like doing it hard, just getting it all out. So no packet, just put the distilled water in the thing. Spray that thing. The second I do it, never do this, never do that. The whole left side of my head up and just fire, bro. My eye was like, I'm sitting there like, I go run downstairs, I'm like twitching out, and I'm like, Dad, Mom, I think I'm dying. And my dad's like, you probably are. People have died from doing that. So I'm flipping out because my dad said, this might not be true. This might not be true. But my dad said, if I were to use normal water and did that, there have been people that have literally died from doing that. Maybe it's not
tap
true.
water. I don't know how.
Any smart people watching this, please inform me. Could I have died from that? I don't know. regardless, never do it. Public service announcement. After you call your grandma, put a little mental note to never do a neti pot without the little packet because it's undescribable, bro. I didn't
Was
sleep.
it the
Did
worst
it
pain?
just go away after a little bit, or like how long did it last?
Well, first of all, I could like distilled water like has a different like scent to it. I could just taste and like smell it until like 4 a.m. That's why I couldn't sleep because it was giving me flashbacks to the So yeah, yeah. No, it took like at least an hour to really the pain to go away. I mean the crazy pain went away in like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But like the rest of it was good by like an hour later. But for the next 3 hours, I just couldn't sleep without just smelling it. It was so dumb, bro. So yeah, I just want to look out
Jack's
for my
nodding
fans
his
out there.
head.
Wait, what? We got our boy Jack Green. Shout out Jack
It may
Green.
be safe to swallow because, it could kill you.
It could.
Tap
That's
water?
what it says.
So hey, shout out my boy Jesus Christ for saving me.
Dude, that's so horrible.
Yeah.
Because you could have literally died and I was just fast asleep.
Yeah, and who would have been the you
Report
would have had to
your
been the
physician
full-time host.
as soon as possible.
Wait,
That's
what?
what it says. Report to a doctor as soon as possible.
Oh my gosh, why is it so bad?
I
Like
don't
people
know.
get like water up their nose all the time.
I don't know.
Because you're shooting it up your nose. Like you're think about foster
Into
doing it.
your
You're probably
brain.
Oh, I guess in your brain, yeah.
and your nose and your throat and your ears are connected, so it probably went all
Yeah, it
throughout
goes
that
all
too.
the way up.
That's
But
not
what's that little
good.
packet do that like saves you?
I know. I don't know. It's okay.
That's the part that I'm like, what? Okay, but anyways, I just wanted to look out for my people, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that, please. Let me be let me be the coach. All right. Anyways, let's get into what this episode's actually about today. I just want to make something clear to everybody that really listens and really supports this podcast. The Underwater Fly Zone is not a Christian podcast. Every time you listen to this podcast, we're not going to be talking about Christian stuff. This podcast is geared towards people. Get that out of here. This podcast is geared towards people, middle high school range all the way up to like 25, 30. All right. So like anybody in that range that wants to, first of all, self-improve, but second of all, wants to just go to somewhere where they can feel like they can relate, where they're like depressed thoughts or like the deep thoughts under the water, underwater fly zone, all the thoughts that like you can't see. Those thoughts can sometimes make you feel alone, but like this podcast, I want to be a spot where you could come and feel like you belong in a way. You know what I'm saying? So this is not necessarily a Christian podcast. This is a podcast where I'm trying to give y'all advice. I'm trying to make sure y'all don't feel alone because I know what I've been through in my life and I just want to be there for y'all, basically. The reason we're going to be talking about more godly stuff is because in the past half a year, especially, I've always believed in God, but like in the past half a year, I've really noticed like I remember everything that ever helped me with my depression helped a lot, but there was still that little bit of like some weird random nights, like, you'd get sad and stuff. Then like I really found God and really started to understand who God was and like what he wants with my life. And that's when all of that stuff went away, dude. Like I'm at peace. It's like a peace that can't be explained. Can y'all relate to that?
Yeah.
Well, and it's like Foster didn't even need to tell me that he's like right with God. I just knew like when we got onto the car, Christian music was on, and it wasn't like Juice WRLD or
Yeah.
Trippie Redd or all that stuff. And he's just like really listens. And
Hey.
what?
No, you could continue.
I was just gonna say I know that his life is changing like within the past like year.
I appreciate it. I just
So-
want to say to anybody like don't take that as like, oh, I need to like, oh, he's perfect because he doesn't listen to like, hey, listen, I was there for so long, dude. Like it's okay, and that is completely fine. You do you. You do what you got to do right now, but just understand that like once you really start taking your walk with Christ seriously, like I've gotten to a point, dude, I just don't listen to anything besides Christian
Secular,
music.
kinda.
Well, just Christian music, bro, it just like fuels my soul. I don't even know how to explain it, but like if you follow me on Snapchat, like you saw I posted a video the other day, I get full on chills by like just normal song. Like every song that comes on will give me full on chills, dude. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it just really helps me. There's one other song I listen to because it reminds me of my West Nottoway kids. It's called Son of a Sinner, oddly enough. But y'all know that song? Do you know that
Yeah.
song? Okay, cool. Shout out my West Nottoway kids. But I'll be listening to that when I miss them. Other than that, Christian music, bro. All Christian music. And like, that's not even the point of this podcast, like what we're talking about, but like that is something that has helped me. But like, I'm just saying, with talking about mental health and how to improve, and me trying to give y'all advice on how to improve, that leads me to pointing straight to the cross. That leads me pointing straight to God, because I tried so many different things, but God's the only thing that healed me. So no, this is not a Christian podcast. We're literally getting new vintage thrifts on, just a normal interview for fun, basically, next episode. But when it's an episode like this, we're gonna be talking about God, because that's what saved me. God saved me, bro. Like straight up. But yeah. So let's get into this episode. This episode is about what it means to be made in God's image, and I feel like I've been talking so much. So
do we just want to go around the circle and all see what we think?
Yeah. Me and Carson already talked about this in episode 3, but it just didn't go how I wanted it to. I feel like I was kind of sounding dumb in that episode. No lie. I felt like I was sucking in that episode. So I wanted to re-hit it again. But Carson, do you want to start? We could go you, Caitlin, Macy, then me. Just like kind of what you believe it means to be made in God's image, because that's something that sounds great to say. What the heck does it mean though? You know what I'm saying? So let's let the people know, because that's the Bible study that changed my life. That's why I want to talk about it.
Yeah, and everyone obviously can have like different views on that.
For sure. Carson, take it away, baby.
Well, I'm just gonna say exactly what I said in episode 3, basically, because I've said the same thing. I believe being made in God's image, in my opinion, is basically quote unquote perfect, and it's not quote unquote really, but today I'm gonna say that. But being perfect in God's eyes, which is obviously what makes it into heaven, because to get into heaven you have to be perfect, you have to be sinless, and that is in his image, because why would he make you anything else? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why would he make you not, if you're made in God's image, which you are perfect, and you are what gets into heaven. It's just what goes on in the world of society.
I agree. And then you gotta, what do you gotta do to then like get into heaven? Because like we're perfect and the world ruins that, and then like
it up. Yeah, then you got to ask Jesus for forgiveness. You got to go through all the process, reconciliation, all that stuff, and then
be born again, all that stuff.
Yeah, all of
we
it.
get into that later.
Yeah.
But anyways, nicely done, Caitlin. What's up?
Okay, a short version of what I think it means to be made in Christ is basically like, I think that being a visible reflection of an invisible God is being made in Christ. God, in Genesis 1, he created mankind and he said that we were good. And then when we got put on this earth to go live our lives, he put like a gift in us. I feel like, and he put strength in us that no other creature on this earth has, except for the actual people. And I feel like being a reflection of a God that nobody can see and just is a spirit is being made in God's image.
I can see that.
It's hard to explain. Like,
Yeah,
I have
it
it
is.
in my head, but it's so hard because
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's being living proof of a loving God, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just being a reflection of God's love, pretty much.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
everything that He says in the Bible, you reflect it onto your daily life.
Mine's kind of similar to that, and I was gonna say, so to me, made in God's image is like we are all, I guess, the same on the inside. You know, we all look different on the outside and stuff, but we're still all a soul. You know, and that's what goes on to heaven. And I think that God gives us each different qualities and traits to live out his purpose. You know, God designed us differently for a reason, to call the lost in different ways, in different environments. So I think that people that are, you know, more extroverted and outgoing can be a light to those that might be, you know, more that kind of like need that their walls broken down, you know? And then the people that are more sensitive and soft-hearted can really do a great job at getting the people that might be bitter, you know, because they're patient with them and soft with them. And I just think that made in God's image is just exactly how you are, which is like everyone's different, but God can use you the way that he designed you to be. So your weaknesses, your strengths, everything that he made you for was for a reason. So I think that we could use that, you know, for the better.
For sure. I think it's crazy too, but like, it's like be exactly how you are, but it's tough these days because you got so much manipulation in the world that like wants you to believe you're one way, but yeah, we could not even get into that, but you know what I'm trying to say. But anyways, the way this dude, shout out Max from the Newman Center up at Northwest. The way he explained it was crazy, but basically the way I see it is like God's son is Jesus, right? But Jesus is also God. Jesus is God in human form, right? So to be made in God's image, what does that mean? Well, human were made in God's image. He made Jesus. So Jesus is made in God's image. We're all, like, why would, like, okay, I'm just playing this bad. We're made in God's image, right? And then what did God choose to come on this earth as? He didn't choose to come on this earth as some, like, whirlwind, like, spirit, like, tornado type thing. He decided to come in what he sees as himself, which is human. So all human are made in God's image. We just got to look to Jesus because Jesus is God. Jesus is the example of a perfect life. Jesus is the perfect example of what God wants out of us. However, living on the earth, like Carson said, you can't be perfect because you got sin, you got the devil manipulating you, you got just human desires, you got all this stuff. And also God gives us free will. He gives us the gift of free will, and he would never infringe on that. So he's like, that's your gift. You could choose to follow me. You could choose not to, but like, that's your gift, you know? So basically the way I see it is like us being made in God's image is we need to be looking at how Jesus lived and get on a path to try to follow the perfect life that he lived. However, that's not possible. So you're going to get knocked off the path. But when you get knocked off, you have to, quickly repent and get back on the path and ask for forgiveness in that spot too. Because like you fell off, you sinned. All right, God, please forgive me. Let me repent, get back on the path. And the crazy thing that I'm in, the crazy season I'm in right now, and did that make sense kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, so like we're trying to follow Jesus, right? But how do you follow Jesus if you don't know Jesus? Like that's something I think about a lot. It's like I'm trying to follow you, God, but like, there's some things that I'm just kind of like, oh, he'll be okay with this, right? Macy knows. He'll be okay with this, right? No. Okay, let me learn more. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I want to know you more, God. Like, I want to know you more. You know that song? What song is it? I want to know you more. There's that song. I don't even know. But, like,
I surrender?
Yes, I surrender. That's what that's it. That's it. The song I Surrender is perfect. That's why I'm obsessed with this song right now, because it's my mindset. It's like, God, I know what I need to do. I know Jesus laid out the path for our perfect life that we need to live here on earth, and I know we can't. But I'm trying to follow that path. But the only way I'm going to follow that path is if I surrender to me, stop doing what I want to do. Because what I want to do is stupid. Like, what I want to do is what I want to do is have sex. What I want to do is, what I want to do is, bro, what I want to do is like go speeding down the highway at 150. What I want to do is like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. But like God's saying, I don't care what you want to do. Jesus laid out the path. You lay the path. So I'm saying, I'm a virgin, by the way, just so you all know, but like, I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this. But God's saying, no, don't do this. So I'm having to say, I surrender myself. I surrender my own desires. I want to do this stuff, but I surrender, God. I'm not going to do it. Take me over. I want to know you more. I want to know your path more, and I want to follow it harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously, we all fall short in different ways. It's the way it is. But like, that's the path, bro. And that's the thing that freed me from depression, was learning that we're made in God's image, and what it means to be made in God's image is to try to follow Jesus's path, surrender to yourself, don't give in to what you want. Most of the time, what's going to make you happy isn't really going to make you happy. It's not going to really fulfill you. You know what I'm saying?
It's temporary.
Exactly. So, yeah.
And can I say something?
Absolutely not. I'm kidding.
Well, when you said you want to, when some people have those selfish desires and they want to do these temptations, the enemy will put all of this stuff in your head that makes it like look glamorous, and is like kind of feeding it into you and saying, oh, this will be good, and it will just, it'll be good. And then the enemy doesn't tell you what will happen after, and it's the consequences. And if you obviously disobey God, obviously God loves you and forgives you, but the reason why God has these commandments is for a reason. He doesn't want to do it to restrict us, but to protect us, from our own selves, because we are human, we need God as our savior. We can't do this life alone.
Yeah,
but
temporary satisfaction is
it
literally
doesn't
only
compare.
temporary, bro.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't compare to God's
for sure.
really peaceful fulfillment that you will experience if you just obey him.
For
and
sure.
it's so worth it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. What about you guys?
I feel like the cool thing about following God is when you go off the path, he always like closes doors and closes opportunities to get you back on the right path. Like he'll
Yeah.
never leave you astray.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something really cool about finding your relationship with God. Even if you don't have a relationship with God yet, he'll still do things for you behind the scenes that you don't even know about yet.
Mm-hmm.
And like you'll realize later on down the road.
100%.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes. Carson, you got anything? No, I got something if you don't.
Go right ahead.
So, like, the crazy thing about this message, too, is, like, I get this Bible study, right, about God's image. And then, like, one of my best friends that's atheist, like, very atheist, like, pressing me every day. Like, bro, he treats me like I'm dumb because I believe in God. But, like, he's pressing me. He's like, bro, what's it mean to be made in God's image? And I'm like, wait, I just learned this. Like, what are the odds God gave me the answer, like, 5 days ago? Like, it was crazy. And that's the thing. What I told him, I was like, bro, you don't even have to believe in God to improve your life. Just look at this as a self-improvement thing, if nothing else. Like, God is laying out. The Bible is a manual to live a perfect life. Jesus laid out the path to live a perfect life. So if nothing else, if you don't believe, if you just can't you just can't believe in God, you can't do all that. Give the Bible a shot and see if it does anything in your life. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. Like, hey, I ain't here to debate y'all. I ain't here to push anything on y'all. I'm here to tell you my experience. It's changed my life. And literally, bro, if you just follow the path, see what it does. That's all I'm gonna finish.
I have
right?
something to go off of that. Whenever I first started reading the Bible, I wasn't even like a Christian yet. I just started opening up the Bible and reading. And I feel like even if you don't know God yet or you don't have a relationship with God, reading the Bible can be so beneficial because all of those motivating and like encouraging words, just hearing them and reading them is just going to help you no matter what. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't know the backstory behind them or you don't know why the Bible is saying that, like just knowing that you're loved or that just like all the good things that God says about you in the Bible, even if you don't know God, they're still good to read.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was going to also say, this might be kind of hard to explain, but so just to know how much God loves us. So God can obviously do anything, and he created us to have a choice, to choose him or to choose the world. And God could easily make us like robots, automatically
force us to believe.
Yeah, force us to believe in him, force us to just be in his commandments and all that stuff. But God loves us so much that he wants us to be able to choose him. And I think that is in itself why I want to obey his commandments, is because he gives us that free will to want to choose him or honestly death, like sin,
Yeah.
So I think that when you look at life that way and kind of clear like the foggy lenses and see reality, it's just like crazy how much God loves us.
Yeah. And people oftentimes like to say, like, you see like a school shooting or you see like some horrible thing. Mm-hmm. How could this person do this? How would God allow this to happen? Yeah. God gave us free will. He gave us the choice to choose him or to choose the devil's ways, which is to do some dumb stuff like that. And people also will say, like our friend Connor, you heard on the episode, Brad Poles opening up about how he has cancer. God, how would you let this happen? Well, that's just, we live here on earth. That's just something that exists here on earth. Disease, but one day, bro, one day up in heaven, this is what I truly believe. One day up in heaven, there will be no racism. There will be no cancer. There will be no BS, bro. It'll just be absolute peace. And honestly, like, I couldn't imagine even living if I didn't believe in that. Like, that's the only thing that gives me a reason to be here right now. Like, I remembered.
There's no reason.
I remember not wanting to be here. And then I was just like, well, I'm going to stay because God's real. But like if God, like I'd literally stay because I'm like, this matters, bro. This life matters. And that's why I feel like it matters. Like your life is worth living because God exists and God loves you and God wants you to be in his kingdom someday. That's why your life is worth living, the whole meaning of this podcast brand. And then I just couldn't imagine, like, I don't know. Just please, y'all, like, hey, if just give it a chance. Like, what do you lose? You don't lose anything by at least trying. But you gotta honestly try. You can't be like, oh, I'm trying to believe, but I still am selfish, putting my walls up. You know, you gotta like give it one shot. One shot. If you approach God with an open heart one time, you gone forever, bro. He's gonna bring you right in. I'm telling you. But you gotta allow yourself a chance. Just do it for you. I gain nothing from this. Do it for you. Why would I? I'm sitting here, invested all this money in all this brand to tell you this, and I gain nothing from telling you this.
Yeah.
Just try it, please. Like for your own good. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and one of the big reasons why people don't believe in God is because they see all this evil in the world and they say, well, how can this happen if God is so good? And that's something that a lot of people will tug to, like, Christians, I feel like. And we're like, I mean, I can't really explain, like, God, you know, obviously this is not God's world because it's imperfect. So it's the enemies, it's the devils because there's sin in it. So you have to understand that since we are not in heaven, there's going to be misperfection. So it's going to cause evilness and sin and just literally horrible stuff. And it's not because of God. It's because God gave us, again, that freedom to choose. And it's a choice. It all kind of came because he loved us so much that he wanted us to freely choose him. So the people that obviously choose the evil and don't choose him, this is where it comes from. So that's how we can explain it, you know?
For sure.
But
for sure.
Yeah, I kind of touched on that in the last episode. I feel like whenever you go through something in life and something bad happens and you always ask God why, like, why did this happen to me? It's not because he's absent in your situation. He's the most present he's been in your life when you go through hard things. But because the whole Adam and Eve story, when sin entered the world, God is not in control of everything that happens. When something bad happens, that's the world creating that bad thing. That's not God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
For sure. All right. Well, Caitlin, you came in here with some notes and stuff. You just want to start going ham. You can. Do you not have much?
No, I don't have that many.
Okay,
Or talk about, like
I feel like I've talked a lot. I just don't
Yeah,
lie. You know what I'm saying?
and we can talk about, I wanted to touch base on, like, our own desires that God places in our hearts, you know?
I'll say this real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, you know how I was saying, like, we're trying to get on Jesus' path and follow him? That doesn't mean we all have to act the exact robotic, like, same type of way following him. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're on that path to follow God, he also has his own purpose for you. Like, he has your own different, we're all unique and wonderfully made in his image in our own different way. We're all different, bro. We all got our own different purpose, own different little ways to bring people closer to him. Ultimately, that's what the end goal is. We all kind of have the same end goal, which is to bring people closer to him and reach heaven ourselves. But the way we do that, that's what's different. Like, it's not like we're all just some robots, like, following. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have our own purpose. So, Caitlin,
I remember now.
Yeah,
we were talking about the gifts. So at church on Sunday, my pastor was talking about how everyone in life is given a unique gift from God. And this is basically like their purpose in life, like what you're going to do to impact people in your life. And I feel like he was saying that you need you have to figure that out, and you have to figure out how to use that in the real world, and you need to figure out how to use it in the church setting too as well. So do we want to talk about our gifts and what we think are
and
let's start
purposes?
off.
Oh, okay, yeah. Where do you want
We
to
got
Boss?
Macy first.
Well,
all right, but
Yeah, Macy has a pretty, like, I'll back you up on this one when you talk about it, because I
Okay.
feel like you have a pretty...
But before anything else, I wanted to say that all of our gifts and all that stuff are so different. And I also wanted to say, I watch a bunch of, like, Christian influencers, YouTubers. You need to make sure that you're also guarding your eyes and your heart when you watch people like that too, because if you say they are going to talk about their lives and all that stuff, that does not mean that this has to be how you live. You know,
Yeah.
God will convict everyone in different ways. God knows your struggles with sin or lust or all that stuff. So I wanted to say that the stuff that we say and our desires in our hearts and what we feel like we hear God the best does not mean that that's the way that you should be living your life, you know?
for sure. Follow, like they said last night, follow God yourself. Don't follow someone else following
through
God.
someone else's
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah,
Anyways,
that's a good point. But
take it away.
so I would say that for me, my desires are,
Your purpose.
my purpose, I
Yeah.
feel like, are your desires of your heart and your gifts.
Yeah.
What are your good qualities? And you can just, it's okay to be selfish like that and talk about, okay, I'm good at this, because that's sometimes you need to do that in order to know, okay, what does God give me and what am I blessed at, you know? Like, I'm not blessed at singing. I'm not blessed at, I'm not that
True
tall.
that.
But I think that God has given me such a great quality of understanding people and being so sincere and kind of being not a people pleaser, but I love to serve others and I love to put people before myself. So, and I started really noticing this when I was dating Foster, because seeing him and my family and friends and other people get happy made me really more happy. And it's all about not receiving but giving is what I think that really makes my heart happy and fills my cup up. So that is one of my biggest quality traits is I'm really good, and it's okay to be selfish right now, but I'm really good at serving people and understanding, which is like putting myself in their shoes, even if I haven't gone through the same crisis that they have. I love to listen to people, and I'm not an extrovert, but I love to talk to people. And, you know, Caitlin, I just like to listen and hear other people's lives, you know, and I love how it makes them happy. So, but yeah, I would say that that's one of my biggest qualities. And I love that I'm saying this out loud because it makes me more aware for the next time that I see people, you know, and that's how I use God's, I guess, desires for my heart for the good of this world, you know, like being a light. So that's what I was going to say. I didn't know if there was anything else that I'm missing that you were going to say.
No, I feel like you got most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really true though. Like, you're so selfless that I literally, like, you're so selfless, especially to me, that sometimes I'm like, all right, Macy, no, I'm gonna do this myself because I feel like it's like I don't want to take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I have to
always
make
like-
sure I don't take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Because
and,
it's so
well,
crazy.
With every like trait like that, I feel like comes with like getting taken advantage of.
Yeah,
So Macy's
even by
downfall
accident.
is like people will take advantage of her
Yeah.
and use her.
And I can lose myself, at times, which
Yeah.
is not good, obviously.
We talked about this last night. Sometimes you're pouring into other people's cups too much and you
Yeah.
don't get poured into
that I
enough.
forget to fill myself up. But
Yeah.
yeah. So that's, I would say, my good quality traits and something that kind of I might need to,
Be aware of.
Yeah, be more aware of to know like, okay, I need to take care of myself too.
Yeah,
You know.
that's
But
Good
that was
stuff.
me. What about you, Caitlin?
Um,
You said you were still trying to figure out, but you
yeah,
know
I was
some.
gonna talk about how it's okay to not really know yet because
Yeah.
I feel like the last year for me, I've been kind of trying to discover my purpose and everything. Like I'm doing a lot of things right now that I'm starting to find passions for, which is really exciting, but I don't exactly know mine yet. And I've talked with my mom and stuff, and I've talked with you guys even last night about some qualities that I have that I know I'm pretty good at, but I don't have it like pinpointed yet what my purpose is yet.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Some people don't know until way later down the road. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta at least make sure you try a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
though, because I think we said this on a podcast one time. The best basketball player in the world could be pushing carts at Walmart like us somewhere because
Yeah.
they never gave himself the chance, or like
Yeah.
the best musician or the best preacher
Mm-hmm.
could literally be working an office job because they never gave themselves the chance. They never tried it out. So I think it's important to try a bunch of different things. Obviously, try a bunch of different productive
Yeah.
things. Don't
Yeah.
take this the wrong way.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I think with my experimenting though, trying different jobs and stuff, I've definitely found the like career path I want to take that
saying? Yeah.
will hopefully help me find my like what did you call it earlier?
Your desires.
yeah.
or
Well,
your
no,
gifts?
like
Your purpose, your
calling.
calling.
my purpose, but like the traits, like Macy's
character- your
selfless,
quality
like my
traits, yeah.
quality traits
Yeah.
and stuff like that
Yeah.
will come out whenever I'm in my career. I feel like, but I feel like I've found a passion for working out in the gym
Yeah.
and training people. And this summer I've been training disabled people, and I've found that I have a lot of patience
Mm-hmm.
with people who have disabilities, and I can definitely see myself working with them
That's
in
a
the
calling.
future.
Yeah, and you said
So
that.
I feel like I'm definitely on the path
Uh-huh.
of finding my purpose. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess patience is a good one
For
for
sure.
me. I feel like I do have a lot of patience.
Because you know a lot of people don't got patience.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
talking about me. I don't.
Not everyone
I've
can
been
do
working
it,
on
yeah.
it, but like.
The more I feel like I talk about it, and this goes for everybody, the more I feel like I talk about it, the more I start to figure it out.
Yeah.
So have conversations with people like we did.
Yeah,
That's sick.
and I want to say two things, but the first thing is for your purposes, if you don't know like what your purpose is in life, you got to ask yourself, okay, what what is something that I'm passionate about, because that's one of the first things that you can know God's true desires for your heart. What is something that I like to do? What's something that really makes me happy, excited, motivated to get up out of your bed every morning? And also, I was going to say, number 2, God doesn't use you when you're comfortable, like God will use you the most when you are out of your comfort zone. And you got to really step up and do something that you might not want to do every single day, but it's in those times that God really works in you.
I agree. I think we should talk to Carson here because I really want to hear your thoughts because you said you don't know yet, but like I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Walmart's not cutting it.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Tell you what.
Shout out Walmart though. It's lit.
Yeah. Well, let's start being honest here because these two, they got it figured out a little bit. Because me, I'm not sure what my calling is yet, and I'm not sure my career path yet. I'm not really convinced on anything yet. But one thing I do know is that I'm like you, Macy, a little bit because I do really like making people. I like seeing people happy more than I like myself being happy because making other people happy is what makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has something to do with that. And it's kind of a combination also of what you're saying because something that's going into my major is like health and exercise science, which also has to do with the gym a lot. And you're doing like disabled people, which is awesome. But I think mine would be more for like rehab, like coming out of like injury and type stuff like that. Because like I said, like I like making people happy. Imagine someone's like happy smile when they finally get like over the torn ACL and they're back to something, and like I'm the one who helped, True. So I think that's what I'm going for. I mean, I'm trying to find some way around it because my grades are not that. But
so maybe like the physical therapy route.
Yeah, like that type of stuff. But I definitely think that's what God put into me is being more. I can definitely be selfish, and you guys all could probably see that. But I think a lot of the times my aspects should be selfless with like just the way I do things to the people I love and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something that God made clear to me that seeing other people happy and the reason being something that I put effort for is kind of down my path.
Yeah, well, even like just it's in the Huggins blood to just be like an outgoing person. That's even like a calling in itself because a lot of people don't have that. So like use that to your advantage too, And also, life is so long. You could have a bunch of different things. That's the thing.
We hope.
Well,
God willing.
Yeah, God willing. You know.
For real, I hope so.
Yeah, just be smart, be safe.
Yeah, or you could say life is so short that just do it. Just go out of your comfort zone.
Like, hey, God willing, we have like, we're going to live to be like 80, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
If you are blessed to have that, that's a lot of time. You could have, I'm 23. I feel like I've already lived a full life in some ways. So, I know there's a lot of things I haven't done yet, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like you could switch it up.
With that, I want to touch back on what you said about, like Walmart dude that should be an NBA basketball player. If you're going to live or expect yourself to live 80 years, then you need to try to open every single door that's possible because just like you said, we could be working at Walmart and have some crazy, we aren't singers, we aren't crazy athletes, but there could be something there that we are missing out on because we're sitting here working some 40 hours at Walmart.
He's starting to sound like me a little bit.
Starting to try to quit this job. Maybe Walmart 2 weeks.
You don't got time for that.
No, I don't got time for that. But I'm just saying, like, we just got to keep trying. Keep making the money, but also keep trying these new paths because one of them could be just hidden right now. And
that goes along with like trusting in God's plan too.
Mm-hmm.
Like He will open doors when they're supposed to be opened.
Yeah.
And
He
we'll just
won't
have to
open.
wait. Yeah.
Yeah, he won't open.
And don't shy away
Yeah.
from those doors either because whenever those doors open, it could be like kind of like scary sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? But it is. So you got to
That's
kind of chase
exactly
that.
how it was for me. I'm doing an internship this summer, and I felt like whenever the door opened for this internship job, I was like, oh no, I don't know about this one. And then I took a chance on it, and it was actually like one of the most impactful experiences.
That's who I was with being a summer school teacher. I was like, I'm the youngest one. Oh, you go.
We're going to call a timeout real quick. This camera's about to die. Hold it.
Flow.
Going with the flow. All right. Sorry about that. Continue.
Well, I was going to say, like, with you're in your internship, I felt the same thing about being a summer school teacher. I was the youngest one. I wasn't even graduating.
Didn't even student teach yet.
Yeah, didn't even student teach yet. Didn't even graduate college. Everyone was like, so how long have you been teaching? I was like, I'm still in college. But, there were teachers that were retired that just wanted to do this for the money and all that stuff. And I remember somebody called, because I put my resume in, and someone called the person that, what's that word where you call them and say, oh, are they a good candidate and all that stuff?
Oh, like a reference.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I think she'd be a really good teacher and all that stuff, because they probably wouldn't have even hired me if they didn't ask. But yeah, so since I did that, I knew that this was my calling to be a teacher. And I literally get so excited after every day with the kids, and I know that that's my calling. And if I wouldn't have done that, I really wouldn't have done this passion. Like, I had a classroom full of 20 kids. It was a lot.
It was
but
real.
it was awesome. I had
deal.
to dive in. Yeah, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I feel like when something is your calling and when it's like made for you is when you get done working or like you get done teaching and stuff, and you don't feel drained
we
afterwards.
were talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you still feel like you feel almost like filled up in
Like-
a way.
like you feel God's presence almost.
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
It's like you have so much energy, you could do
Yeah.
everything.
Like
Yeah.
you have more energy than when you woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I get off of Walmart, I pass out.
That's probably not where
I
your
do
calling
not
is.
wake up.
Hey,
Well,
hold that
that's
thought
good
though.
for
Hold
you,
that
though.
thought though. Yeah. Macy, I just want to say I'm very proud of you.
High five.
Oh, jeez. Back to the high
I am
five.
very proud of you though, because you killed it this summer. So high five.
I'm
again.
proud of myself.
I think we all saw that too, because your Instagram stories made it very easy
Oh, yeah, go
for
follow
everyone
me
to
on
follow
Instagram.
along. Hey,
I'm
Macy,
not putting that in right there.
Macy _ Sion.
Yeah.
We saw a lot about Macy with her big smile
In
with a
my
bunch of
overnight
kids.
oats.
So
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
No, I'm actually very proud of you. But Carson, that's true. Like afterwards we feel drained, but don't miss this. God can use you where you are right now. Like at Walmart, God can use us. Like pushing the cart, talking to customers, God can use us. And he has for me. I don't know if you've had experiences,
definitely,
but like
I had one today. I just forgot. So I didn't think it back. There was something that happened today. It was so good, but I forgot what happened.
I just know at work, like in like living God's calling, and like, cause like I said, we're supposed to like share his message and like bring people closer to him. You don't have to be going around saying like, repent, believe the gospel, you repent. Like you
Like
don't got
shove it down their throats.
Yeah, you could literally just be like a good person, and literally like what I've done with a lot of my friends is just been a really good friend with them. And then eventually they're like, bro, why are you so like happy? Like, why are you so at peace? Like what? And then I'm like, if you really want to know, it's God, it's Jesus. And they're like, let me, and then like, I don't think I'm yet to really do much, but like we're getting there. But hopefully I am today in this episode. But anyways, like God can use you where you are right now, like at Walmart, at your job, at school. Like you don't have to wait for the perfect time, because honestly, the perfect time is probably never gonna come. The perfect time's right now, because you're alive, you're functional. This is the perfect time, bro. This is the perfect time. A lot of people wish they could be where you are right now. You are living in the absolute perfect time to share God's message. Your calling, I mean, yeah, it's very important to find, because that's what fulfills you and makes you feel like I lived a successful life. But if you're not there yet, that's okay. Just do the most with what you got, because that's important too. Like the people at Walmart, my last day is on Saturday, and I'll probably never see these people again. So this is my last couple of chances to really make an impact. Not all of them. Shout out the homies. But a lot of them I probably won't see again. So it's like, this is my last chance to really make that final like impact. But
Yeah. Well, and I was also gonna say, you don't have to be like on stage being a motivational speaker.
Absolutely not.
And
Absolutely not.
in order to change people's lives. And if you think that that's the only reason and way that you can share God's word is through that, and you just keep quiet because you're like, oh no, I'm never gonna do that, then you're doing it wrong, because
sure.
we're normal people, and you can literally change somebody's life by giving them a smile or a nice compliment when you walk inside of the store. And like when people that are random say a nice compliment to you, you will remember that. And if you were having a bad day, that will just make it so much better.
You can change someone's day by walking down the street with an Underwater FlyZone shirt on, by the way.
And then reading
Just
it.
reading it, yeah, reading
Yeah,
it.
the
Only
back of it.
$25. Get yours today at underwaterflyzone.bigcartel.com.
Yeah, that's
Anyways.
so true.
No, but I'm sorry.
I was kind of getting like, yeah,
we should not be making jokes.
I'm saying is like you could just like the shirt, you can make an impact by someone reading the back of your shirt. You can make an impact on someone's life or day or week by a simple comment and walking down the road or in Walmart or wherever you're at. Just saying something to somebody can make a big change, and that's how much effort does it take to say 3 words to somebody random? Like, does it really take that much effort? Because I feel like it's not that hard.
No,
I feel
literally.
like it's not that hard.
It's not. And then one of my favorite things that following God has done for me is given me the heart and the mindset to just talk to the people that a lot of people, myself a few years ago, would not talk to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
great example, my homie Brandon. If you were at the live event at El Dorado, my boy that talked, bro, shout out Brandon. He's back at Walmart right when I'm leaving. Ugh, so dumb, but so unfortunate. Best day of my life was walking into Walmart today, seeing Brandon sitting right there. I was like, let's go. It was 5 a.m. That woke me right up. Anyways, this dude Brandon, if you know, I've had him on the podcast. I had him at the show at El Dorado. He was homeless for a while. He was, ex-meth, heroin, ex, whatever. And then he's recovered now, thankfully. And then when I met him, though, he had, like, his teeth were, like, homeless, ex-meth, heroin, like, how it be. And he was really crazy, dude. He was really, like, out there. And, like, a lot of people would just kind of avoid him. But I just went right to him. And literally, we call all the time. We text all the time. Macy knows, like, if I walk in a good mood, like, one of the biggest reasons why is, like, oh, I just talked to Brandon.
I know.
Like, literally, I just love this dude. And, like, if it wasn't for God, I never would have even had the heart to talk to him. Because before, like I said, when I was in high school, I would have been like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because we're just judgmental by just by design.
Appearances.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's something that I don't even know how I just thought of that, but that's something that God's really done for me. And I encourage y'all to give people a shot, bro. Like, don't be so intimidated. A lot of these people just want a friend. Like, that's what I noticed with Brent. That's a big thing I noticed with Brandon. That's why I thought of it. Because, like we were saying, like, one simple conversation, one simple comment can change somebody's life. Like, just me approaching him and talking to him, like, the first day of work sparked a friendship. Like, this dude, like, needed a friend. And, like,
I remember that because I remember I was working at Walmart and I remember seeing him and I was all, because it's not like bad. I was like, it's what you think of when you see Brandon. I was like,
yeah,
this dude's so much like different. And I'm
yeah.
I would always just, do my job. But I remember the first time I went up and actually like, because you would talk about him, I'd be like, I'm going to talk to this dude. He was dope, bro. And I was like, you know what? All you got to do is just talk to these people because every single person, it doesn't matter what they look like. They can look like whatever. They can act like whatever, but you don't really know them until you talk to them. You don't really know them until you connect with them.
Yeah, everybody.
And then everything changes.
Dude, everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a family. Hopefully, everybody's got a story. Everybody's got people they care about. Everybody has, problems. And also something I think about, everybody was once a newborn baby, innocent.
You do say
right
that.
I say it all the time, like newborn, like fresh in the world, completely innocent, ready to take on life. And like we said on the episode, few episodes ago, life has a way of just taking that innocent, beautiful version of you and just beating it with a bat until it can't even move, bro. Like, life is just like that, bro.
That's vulgar.
It's just the way it is, bro. Like, think about it. Like, even myself, I was born, I was, nice, minding my own business, running a football league. Kyle dies. Bat hits me. My friends from middle school, I don't talk about this ever because I don't want anybody feeling bad for me because I wasn't that close with them, but I had like 7 of my best friends from middle school, drug overdose, like right when I graduate. And then like, I'm just like, dang, like, oh, getting beat up, bro. And then like, we get in this weird spot where we're just kind of beat down, but we still have that version of ourselves that was newborn baby, innocent. Like, we were once that person. And what I'm trying to get at is, like, God wants you to be born again in his image and not find your worth in this world, but find your worth in him. And that's where I think the peace comes from. That's, Caitlin, you were talking about it last episode, and I was getting chills as you were talking. So, like, when you were talking about how, like, you don't find your worth in Caitlin, the softball player, you find your worth in God, like, that spoke so much to me, dude. Do you have any more you want to comment on that? Do you kind of get what I'm trying to say right now?
Yeah, that goes back to us talking about being made in God's image. When God created us, he created us and said all these wonderful things about us. And he put so much effort in designing us and putting your identity in something that's so temporary and like in the world. Like, putting your identity in something that's in the world is just, it's never going to bring you peace or happiness or anything. When you find a relationship with God, I think that's when you find peace and joy and love and kindness. There's a verse in the Bible, I'm not good at reciting, but whenever it talks about all the traits that you receive whenever you find God, and it's peace, joy.
Yeah, it's my
kindness.
screensaver.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But-
That's wild.
You
you guys
just
get
find
it.
all those things whenever.
Let's see.
Oh, gotta click the button. My bad.
Carson, you read it out.
Here, let me
Or
see.
not.
Or amazing.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. And that
Yes.
is Galatians 5, verse 22 and 23.
Beautiful.
That's so funny.
Jack, is that still
Oh.
going?
Barely.
Barely. All right. So
Pause.
I mean, I think. Wait, does that say memory card?
No space.
We
Uh-oh.
are screwed.
So we're absolutely screwed, and we're gonna probably have to end this right here. But we are already 55 minutes in. That's crazy.
Like for part 2.
Yeah, do that.
Dude, I forgot to tell people to subscribe. Can y'all please subscribe? Like, please, like, dude, we are trying to get to 1,000. I need to get to 1,000. We need to get to 1,000. So please hit the subscribe
1K
button.
before
Are we
August.
ending it right now?
We got to, bro, because like
Just
the
end it
cameras
on
are.
that fire verse.
Yeah. But no, for real, y'all, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, comment, and we're definitely gonna have to run this back because it was just getting real hot, and
I
then
know.
like this happened. So
That killed the whole.
It's the
thing.
devil, man. Gosh.
Next time.
he could win the battle, but he will not win the war.
Okay, we need to wrap this up.
What are we doing? All right. Hey, guys, I love you guys. I hope this episode hit somewhere in your heart. And I hope that, like, you know, we weren't just up here talking and y'all weren't, like, taking any
Hope you
of it.
get something from this.
Yes, that. Love you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to please subscribe.
That was tough.
You like that? All right.
like
I love
this.
you guys.
Do not do that.
Gosh, what should I?
I got
We
you.
out?
I got you.
Yep.
Ow.
Wait.
If you ain't listening to the
Oh, there we go.
FlyZone podcast, bro,
What is
what
you
you
doing,
Like,
honestly?
honestly.